The largest money laundering ring in the history of the island nation of Singapore was just broken up today, and this story has everything. Money laundering, fraud, gambling, crypto, suitcases full of cash, fake passports, luxury cars, some of the most expensive houses in the world, Chinese spies, and won't somebody please explain to me what is up with these things? What's up, guys? I'm nobody special, and this story is just a few hours old, and this thing is gonna be big. I suspect that somebody big in crypto is about to blow up because of what happened in Singapore. Nearly $1 billion worth of real estate, cash, and other assets were just seized today as this ring was broken up, and this story is only a few hours old. Who knows what is gonna turn up over the next few days? And here we go, dated just today in the South China Morning Post. Singapore files charges against 3 Chinese nationals and 7 others with Chinese passports in a $736 million money laundering crackdown. All 10 of the individuals arrested were found in possession of foreign passports believed to be issued by China. In other words, they were forged. Fake passports issued by China so that all of these guys could run this scam in Singapore. Singapore police seized assets including good-class bungalows, 250 luxury watches and bags, and 120 electronic devices such as computers and mobile phones. And here's the original announcement from the Singapore police force, again just 8 hours old. 10 foreign nationals to be charged for offenses including forgery and money laundering with an estimated value of about $1 billion in cash, that's in Singapore dollars, and various assets seized, frozen, or issued with prohibition of disposal orders, meaning you're not allowed to sell them. The police have arrested 10 persons aged between 31 and 44 for their suspected involvement in offenses of forgery and or money laundering and resistance to lawful apprehension. 12 other persons are assisting with investigations, and 8 other persons are currently wanted by the police. These persons are believed to have connections amongst themselves. All the persons involved are neither Singapore citizens nor permanent residents. The police received information of possible illicit activities, including the use of suspected forged documents that were used to substantiate the source of funds in Singapore bank accounts. Through extensive investigations and follow-up from intelligence, including the analysis of suspicious transaction reports or STRs, the police identified a group of foreign nationals suspected to be involved in laundering the proceeds of crime from their overseas organized crime activities, including scams and online gambling. On August 15, 2023, more than 400 officers from the Commercial Affairs Department, the Criminal Investigation Department, Special Operations Command, and the Police Intelligence Department conducted simultaneous raids at multiple locations island-wide, including residences such as good-class bungalows and condominiums, leading to the arrest of 10 persons. Prohibition of disposal orders were issued against 94 properties and 50 vehicles with a total estimated value of more than 815 million Singapore dollars. As well as multiple ornaments and bottles of liquor and wine, the police also seized more than 35 related bank accounts with a total estimated balance of more than 110 million Singapore dollars, cash including foreign currencies amounting to more than 23 million Singapore dollars, more than 250 luxury bags and watches, more than 120 electronic devices such as computers and mobile phones, more than 270 pieces of jewelry, 2 gold bars, and 11 documents with information on virtual assets. And I'm guessing that those documents with information on virtual assets were either wallet addresses, if not the outright private keys to where these crooks kept their crypto. And keep in mind, guys, Singapore has become a global hub for cryptocurrency. All the biggest crypto firms around the world have offices in Singapore. There have been a lot of ICOs. A lot of new companies have moved there. And along with those comes a lot of fraud. Both Three Arrows Capital and Terraform Labs were both based in Singapore. And it looks like this is yet another big crypto fraud coming out of Singapore. So I want to add that this 1 billion Singapore dollars, which is about $750 million US dollars, these figures don't include any seized cryptocurrency, and I suspect that cryptocurrency plays a big role in this fraud. And if the cops already seized close to $1 billion worth of other assets, who knows how much crypto is potentially involved here. I suspect somebody very big in cryptocurrency is going to blow up very soon because a lot of their money just got seized by the Singapore cops. Now, I also want to zero in on this phrase right here, which you may have heard a few times already: good class bungalows, or GCBs. And you might be asking yourself, what is a good class bungalow? Well, here's an example of a good class bungalow, some of the most expensive and exclusive real estate in the whole world. Good class bungalows are properties that are only allowed to have 2 stories. They have to be on a lot that's at least 1,400 square meters. That's about 15,000 square feet. They're only allowed in certain districts throughout the country. And the rub is you have to be a citizen of Singapore to own one of these things, even though all of the people arrested today and all of these properties that were seized today, none of them were citizens of Singapore. And I just want to show you guys a couple of the pictures of some of the things that were seized today. We've got dozens and dozens of luxury watches. All kinds of fine jewelry were seized, not to mention cash. Piles and piles of cash. They found cash sitting out on the table. They found cash in a safe. They found cash in suitcases. They also seized several luxury cars, several more luxury cars, and several more luxury cars. They got this guy's fancy booze collection, a whole bunch of high-end designer handbags, and also seized were these things. What is up with these things? These are Bearbricks. And apparently these things go for as much as $30,000 a piece. That's right, guys. Every one of these things, thousands of dollars, maybe even tens of thousands of dollars for these Lego men with beer bellies and Mickey Mouse ears. And I have to admit, my curiosity was piqued when I saw that a whole bunch of these things were seized, so I just had to go dig into it, and I found this article, Why Are Bearbricks So Expensive? Bearbrick is a phenomenon that has rocked the world. They are pot-bellied anthropomorphic bear figures that are adorned with different designs that can inspire awe, nostalgia, and creativity. So long story short, these guys suck at being rich. But some of the most intriguing aspects of this story is with the individuals that were arrested. Remember, none of these guys were citizens of Singapore. They were all either Chinese nationals or people holding foreign passports that appear to have been forged and issued in China. And here we are in Channel News Asia. Who are the 10 foreigners arrested at GCBs or good class bungalows and prime area condos as part of money laundering probe? And with just a few minutes of initial research since this story first came out, I can already tell that this story is going to be a gold mine and that this story is going to get bigger and involve a lot more people and potentially a lot more countries. Now, a lot of these names are too common that you can't really search them online, but some of these names, 3 in particular, yielded some pretty interesting results. Let's start with the first name, Haijin, a 40-year-old Cyprus national, arrested in a good class bungalow along Ewart Park in the Holland area, charged with 1 count of resisting lawful apprehension. Mr. Haijin was the individual who jumped from a second-floor balcony and injured himself when the cops knocked on the door. They found him later hiding in a drain. He was taken to the hospital, and it looks like he's going to be okay. So I did a little digging on Su Haijin, or Haijin Su. Remember, in a lot of Asian cultures, the family name comes first. And I came up with this. Haijin Su, former board member at No Signboard Holdings in Singapore. So I decided to look a little bit into No Signboard Holdings. And wouldn't you know it, their CEO was arrested for securities fraud just 3 weeks ago. No Signboard CEO charged with manipulating share prices after joint investigation by MAS and CAD. Lim Yong Sim, the executive chairman and CEO of restaurant operator No Signboard Holdings, was charged today on July 27th for price rigging offenses under the Securities and Futures Act. The CEO artificially raised the price of No Signboard shares. These trades took place between June 19th and June 29th of 2018, as well as between November 30th of 2018 and January 11th of 2019. And that all happened while Su Haijin, one of the guys who was just arrested in Singapore in this fraud case, was sitting on the board of directors for this company. So right away, the first name on this list here was sitting on the board of directors of a company while the CEO of that company was committing securities fraud. Now he finds himself in handcuffs for running from the cops because he was busted in a fraud operation with a fake Cyprus passport that was issued in China. Now let's talk about Bao Lin, a 41-year-old Cambodian national who was arrested in a good class bungalow along the Sim Road. He was charged with 1 count of using a forged document. The fake document being his fake Cambodian passport, because Bao Lin is not from Cambodia, he's from China, and his fake Cambodian passport was made in China. I wonder if that might be this guy right here, the founder of Jinbao Investment Holding, Mr. Bao Lin. Founder of Jinbao Investment Holdings and mining e-commerce in China, Mr. Bao Lin has a rich background in e-commerce and IT solution and made multiple finance, investment, and real estate investment across Southeast Asia. One of the core founders of Maining e-commerce in China, which started operations in 2009. So I wanted to know more about Jinbao Investment Holdings, like what are their investments and what are their holdings? And their website is all kinds of flashy and it's all loaded up with buzzwords, but it lists nothing about what are their investments, what are their holdings. Well, let's click on the investment tabs and see if we can figure out what this company actually owns. Let's click on their properties. Oh, properties across South Asia. Let's find out more. Are there anything? No, they actually don't list any of the properties that they own. What about stocks? Does it list the companies that they're in? Let's go to their stocks page. Oh, stock investment charts. Great. Let's see. What are they in? Jinbao Investment Holdings, stock analysis, execution of orders, performance review, strategy planning, step 5, reap profits. What? Nothing about what stocks they hold. And last but not least, we've got this developments tab. This company is in software and game development. And remember that release from the Singapore police mentioned that gambling was involved and that gaming was involved. I suspect these guys were involved in some kind of play to earn crypto scam or some kind of illegal online gambling, and that this company may have been at the center of it. But I had to save the best for last, Mr. Su Jianfeng, a 35-year-old ni-vuanatu national arrested at a good-class bungalow along 3rd Avenue near Bukit Timah, charged with 1 count of money laundering. If you're wondering what a ni-vuanatu national is, apparently Vanuatu is this island country in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, and there's a very good chance that Mr. Su Jianfeng sure as heck did not grow up there. Besides the fact that his fake passport was issued in China, there's also this story in the Taipei Times from March 7th of 2020. Taipei court rejects appeals to remove travel restrictions in Chinese spy case. I told you this story had everything. The Taipei District Court on Wednesday turned down appeals to lift travel bans imposed on Hong Kong businessman Lam Yuk and Chinese national Su Jianfeng, who prosecutors said are suspected of working for the head of a Chinese spy ring in Taiwan. You'll notice they said Chinese national Su Jianfeng, not ni-vuanatu national Su Jianfeng, but I digress. Taipei prosecutors said that Lam and Su were working for Zhang Jin and his wife Kung Qing in a case related to self-confessed Chinese spy William Wang Leqiang, and all 4 were placed under travel restrictions as part of an ongoing investigation into the case. Taiwanese authorities are still investigating the allegations by Wang, who in November last year defected and sought political asylum in Australia. Wang said he worked for China Innovation Investment Ltd., of which Zhang is executive director and Kung an acting director. Wang told Australian media that the firm is a shell company whose founding mission was to infiltrate Hong Kong, but was later tasked with influencing elections in Taiwan. He said that Zhang is in reality a Chinese spy who oversees espionage activities, intelligence gathering, and other covert operations in Taiwan. So it could be that Su Jianfeng, the 35-year-old ni-vuanatu who was caught with a fake ni-vuanatu passport that was issued in China, is a totally different guy than the Su Jianfeng who wasn't allowed to leave Taiwan because he was caught up in a Chinese spy ring to influence the election there. Could be they're 2 different guys. Or could be they're the same guy. So the ink isn't even dry on the first run of this story, and it's already given us securities fraud, forgery, fake Chinese passports, luxury cars and real estate seized, suitcases full of cash, online gambling and gaming, Chinese spies, and of course, these stupid things. And this massive money laundering fraud operation was all happening in the biggest crypto hub in the world, the island nation of Singapore. So they've already seized or frozen close to $1 billion worth of assets, and they haven't even cracked any of the drives that hold crypto or looked in any of those wallets. So if these houses and the stuff that was in them that just got seized is already worth almost $1 billion, you gotta wonder just how much crypto is on these devices, just how much fraud is involved here, and who are the big names in crypto that are gonna be caught up in this. I have a couple of ideas. There's only a few people in the space with this kind of firepower. I suspect we'll find that out in the months ahead. Until next time, live small and dream big.